We are back on business, and we are still tackling this condition, gastroesophageal reflux disease. And now we want to look at the triggers or the factors that exacerbate the reflux of a gastric contents into the esophagus. And these are things like to do with alcohol. When you take alcohol, it shall trigger the amount of acid being produced, and you'll experience some heartburn. Smoking, it's also a triggering factor or exacerbating factor. Another thing is spicy food. Eating of spicy food made of spices, a lot of spices, will make the stomach to produce excess acid. And when the stomach produces excess acid, it backflows into the esophagus because due to abnormal lower esophageal sphincters, the valve is loose, and therefore there will be a reflux. Another thing also that is aspect GAD is when you take fatty meals. When you take fatty meals, it means that we're increasing the digestion time, because to break down fats, it takes a good time, a good number of hours for you to break fats into its simple compounds. And this means that the stomach needs to produce excess acid for it to break down into its simpler components. Another thing is we need to look into, we don't have to take carbonated drinks like Coca-Cola. It has some chemicals that will make the condition worse. Another thing, another factor that we know to take is coffee. Coffee also has an effect on your your esophageal mucosa, and when you take that, it means that there's a production of this excessive acid that will cause some discomfort within the esophagus. As we continue, we find that also things like to do with chocolate, uh, it has also an impact. Those in whole picture, it brings that meals, the kind of meals that we take, it means that we have to look into them so that we can know what is actually worsening my condition. So another thing is when we do when let me say, in this time, I'm relating to position. How you sit or how you sleep is another thing that we need to consider when you are going to sleep. When you sleep flat on your back, looking upward, it means that there will be there will be a backflow of gastric contents into your esophagus, and the rate of digestion is low, and the amount of acid within the system is high, whereby it's just stagnated because the position is also a matter. It doesn't move forward or backward. So that's another thing that we need to consider, and also that triggers gut. We look at pregnancy. In pregnancy, it means that there's increase in pressure, whereby it means that when you are pregnant, it means that there's pressure on your abdominal contents, especially the stomach. And when you have that abdominal pressure on abdominal contents, it means that there's delayed process in digestion, and there's also delayed gastric emptying. And that, therefore, when that pressure builds up, it means that the gastric contents have to flow back into the esophagus and in the mouth. So also when you during that pregnancy time, there's some precautions that we need to take. Another thing we look into is the kind of medication that we take to relieve the pain. These we term as NSAIDs. NSAIDs examples are like diclofenac, brufen. These will tend to worsen your condition, so you need to look into the kind of medication you take when you want to relieve some pain. So, having said that, I know when we put these things into consideration, the few things that I have touched, you'll find that you are going to be in a good state. You will not have trouble with this condition known as GAD.